Hello! Okay, so today we're going to work on some chords. We're going to focus on two chords this week, F and C7. You might already know these, but I wanted to just kind of review it and then give you a couple of songs where you have to practice changing in the middle of the song between F and C7, which can be tricky to do. So the first thing I want to just go over with you is reviewing how to read a chord chart. So if you look here, you'll see that the chord chart will show you the red lines that go up and down show you which strings you're using. The first string is the string on the bottom of your ukulele, it's A. The second string is the second one from the bottom up, it's E. The third string is the third one from the bottom up, it's C. And then the top string is your fourth string, G. Okay, so reading a chord chart. These green horizontal lines tell you which fret you're using. Again, frets are these little lines that go in the little grooves that are in the neck of your guitar. Okay, so when we're reading a chord chart, we're going to see circles that will show us both the fret that we need to put our finger on and which string we need to put our finger on. For example, with our first chord that we're going to talk about today, C7, you see this red dot here shows you that you are on the first string, the A string, and you also need to make sure that your finger is on or right behind the first fret. So if you look in the picture, you'll see that's where they put their finger. If you want to look where I'm putting my finger, it's right there. And when I play it, I just strum down and I can just, there's my C7 sound. All right. Now that we know what C7 looks like and sounds like, we want to strum on it. Just a couple things to remind you of. You're moving the wrist, not your entire arm doesn't go. You can strum with your thumb and pointer finger. You can strum with your pointer finger. You can strum kind of with just your thumb. Okay, unless you have a pick, you can do that too. If you see these little slash marks, which are right, I'll circle them so that you can see what I'm talking about. If you see the chord name C7 with the slash marks next to it, that means that you're going to strum on the beat. So it's just this like 1 ta 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 1 2 3 4 and so on. Alrighty? Okay. So let's learn our first C7 song. The song is Lime in the Coconut. Whew. All right, so the thing about this song, Lime in the Coconut, is that it is all in C7. And I'm not going to play the whole 3 minutes and 48 seconds for you because that would be a long time of just playing on one chord. But I'll play a little bit for you, and I might even switch up the strumming. So for now, we're going to stick to what we were working on, which is just strumming on the beat, and then I might come back and add kind of some patterns like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, or down, down, up, down, down, up. So we'll just see how it goes as we go through it. So we'll do like maybe about a minute and a half of this. Get that finger on right behind the first fret on the first string, and we're going to start to play just strumming the beat. Up to down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Lime in the coconut, you drink a bowl up. The lime in the coconut, you drink a bowl up. The lime in the coconut, you call the doctor, book 'em up. Say doctor, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. This baby, you can say doctor, listen to the nigga, you can say doctor. Now I'm going to change it to this. Down, down, up, down, down, up. Down, down, up, down, down, up. Down, up. So that is lime into coconut. So you can practice that, just trying different strumming patterns just on that one chord. I do want to show you today another chord, which is F. All right. F's a little bit more tricky because you're going to use 2 fingers. So again, looking at that chord chart, if I could only get this to circle. Looking at the chord chart, it's showing you that the first note we need to work, or first finger needs to go on the 2nd string, but behind the 1st fret. And the 2nd finger is going to go on the 4th string behind the 2nd fret. So if you look at the picture, you can kind of see where that is. I'm going to show you on mine too. Here's my first finger. It's going in this on the 2nd string behind the 1st fret, and my 2nd finger is going to reach all the way over to the 4th string and go right behind the 2nd fret. And then I can strum and play my F chord. So give that a couple of strums just to kind of feel it. Okay. The song I'm going to show you that goes with this is Rain, Rain, Go Away. So it's going to show you the way that the music looks when you would normally read it. Up here at the top, when you see these little letters at the top, come on. That is telling you what chord it is. If there's another chord in the song somewhere, it will change and a different letter will go on the top. But for this song, Rain, Rain, Go Away, it's all just F, which means I'm just going to, again, put my fingers where I showed you before. The first finger goes on the 2nd string right behind the 1st fret, and the 2nd finger goes on the 4th string right behind the 3rd, or right behind the 2nd fret. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. This one is just showing you, again, the steady beat, so it's up to you. And then here are some of those different strumming patterns that you can try as well. And finally, it's asking us to just play with the strumming pattern. So this is a good spot for you if you want to just practice playing on F, to pause and practice just playing pattern A, which is just down, down. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Or pattern B, which is the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Or pattern C, which is down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Rain, rain, go away. Or pattern D, down, 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 up, down. So I would practice just playing this with all the different strumming patterns. The goal of this is just to get used to strumming differently, which is a tricky thing in itself. So this is a good place to stop, practice your strumming patterns, and then we'll move on to playing where there's a chord change from Music Play Online. Okay, so now I'm in Music Play Online, which I've given you the link. That's the link we used last week to watch this, and then I showed you the different ways to play regular C. Then we're going to go into all the way down here, because we're learning C7 today. You have the option, if you want to, of learning how to play these just plain old F songs. That's fine. 5, 6, and 7 are plain old F songs, but I'm going to show you the ones that change. So Clementine's a little bit more tricky. Today the one I think is going to be the best one for you to work on so that you can get used to changing fingers and then moving backwards is actually Hush Little Baby. So I'm going to click on that. And if you see it pops up, there's only some spots where you have to change. So you're changing a lot, but you get to stay on the measure for longer. So I told you before that when you see the letters above, it's telling you which chords to play. So the very beginning, you're going to play F for one measure, but then you have to switch right to C7. That's going to look like this. So I'm going to play that F, which again is that right behind and over here. Hush, little baby. But then I have to change right away to C7. Don't say a word. And because I don't have anything written here, I just have to assume that C7 is going to be all the way through. So if they have C7 up and there's like 2 measures, I just think, okay, this is C7, so there's nothing new here. That must also be C7. So when I play, I've got hush, little baby, don't say a word. I'm going to stay on C7. Papa's gonna buy you a, but then I have to change back to F. Mockingbird. And then I stay on F because, again, there's nothing here. And if that mocking, then I change to C7. Bird don't sing. Stay on C7. Papa's gonna buy you a, switch to F. Diamond ring. Stay on F. And if that diamond, switch to C7. Ring turns brass, stay on C7. Papa's gonna buy you a, change to F. Looking glass. As you work on switching chords, I would not even worry about strumming at first. Maybe just strum once. So, hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Because you really want to make sure your fingers know how to change between the chords before you start adding strumming patterns. Okay? When you're ready for that, if you're like, I can change my fingers and I want to try doing it up to speed with the tempo, then you can click this little play button down here. And it's going to give you 2 measures, and it starts ready. Here I go. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And again, I'm not even strumming right now. I'm just practicing where my fingers are gonna go and stay. Diamond ring, and if that diamond ring turns brass, Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Now when I'm ready, I can actually start to strum. So when I'm like, I know I've got the changing of my fingers totally down, then I might add the strumming on the beat. And if that looking glass gets broke, Papa's gonna buy you a merry-go-round. And when I get really, really good at that, I can try adding a different strumming pattern. Papa's gonna buy you a chord and roll. And if that chord and roll go round, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town. So start slow and work your way up. Just practice the fingers. Where do you change from F, to C, and then start adding the strumming patterns. So this is what I want you to work on this week. Just working on these 3 songs in music play and kind of getting used to changing from F to C7. Again, it's Hush Little Baby is the one I would start with. I'm maybe even going to, well, that's regular C, so don't do Clementine. Yeah, I would just start with Hush Little Baby and work on that. If you can remember how regular C is played, which is again that third, we learned that one last week. You're gonna put your third finger on your third finger goes on the first string behind the 3rd fret. Then you can kind of start working on changing from F to regular C like that. And then you would be able to play Clementine. But for now, stick with Hush Little Baby. I hope that was helpful. Contact me with any questions. Okay, so if you have any questions, contact me by email is the fastest way to get a hold of me because I get those notifications right to my phone. I can check it anytime. So this is my email address right here if you need to ask some questions. Otherwise, you can also message me on Seesaw, but that takes me a lot longer to find. The easiest way is to email me or comment on something on Seesaw in your music folder, like this video or something, to let me know that you've got questions. Otherwise, happy practicing.